Hi, T. Carlson here. Last year I reviewed the 4K Toxic Avenger collection. But did you know that it was actually a children's cartoon based on the Toxic Avenger? There was. Apparently the good people at Troma didn't want to keep themselves from trying to cash in on that market as well. So in the early 1990s we got this show, Toxic Crusaders. I'm going to unbox this release and share my opinion. This is the series release on Blu-ray. And the show only ran for 13 episodes. So it's split across two Blu-rays. Of course, you got Toxie on disc 1 and then Dr. Kill-'Em-Off pictured on disc 2. Newly restored and remastered. Watch the classic Saturday morning cartoon like never before. Based on Troma's cult classic smash, The Toxic Avenger, the Toxic Crusaders animated series follows the adventures of that lovable, deformed creature of superhuman size and strength, Toxie, along with his new friends Yvonne, Nozo, Headbanger, and Junkyard. Watch as Toxie stands up for truth and justice against the evil Dr. Kill-'Em-Off and his hordes of heinous henchmen in this complete series collection. There was a time period from like the mid-80s to the mid-90s where it's like we started getting a lot of children's cartoons based on R-rated movies. Why this is, I have no idea. I mean, we had a Rambo cartoon, we had a RoboCop cartoon, we had a Tales from the Crypt cartoon, we even had a Mortal Kombat cartoon in the mid-90s. So, of course, Lloyd Kaufman and the people at Troma, I guess, wanted to jump in on this children's TV bandwagon, and so they brought us a animated adaptation of the Toxic Avenger called Toxic Crusaders, which retells the origin story of Toxie, and this time around he's actually joined by some more allies, and the villain here is the evil Dr. Kill-'Em-Off. So, of course, there's a lot of gross-out humor, a lot of meta-style humor. Even though this was essentially a children's cartoon, they did manage to work in some humor that was consistent with the earlier R-rated movies, which at times does work surprisingly well. I don't know if I ever actually watched this show as a kid, but it must have been a pretty big deal because even though there were only 13 episodes, there was a pretty big toy line, and on top of that, there was even a Nintendo game back in the day. So Toxic Crusaders, even though it wasn't on the air for very long, certainly managed to make an impact. Again, I honestly don't remember if I actually watched the show when I was a kid. There were so many random cartoons I watched when I was a kid. And I guess the people at Troma wanted to cash in on the craze that was started by things like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, you had a lot of shows about mutant creatures and beings around that time that had very similar premises. And this is certainly their version of that. Again, Toxic Crusaders is certainly no masterpiece. I mean, it might be a good thing that this only lasted for 13 episodes, but I certainly had fun watching those 13 episodes. And I think anyone who grew up with this show 30 plus years ago will certainly get a kick out of going back and paying it another visit. According to the package, these were standard definition masters that were actually upscaled using AI HD technology of sorts. I do not know all the specifics there. I don't really know enough about the whole AI technology thing to really be able to make any smart comments. It is a decent looking show. I mean, there's clearly still some print damage and age-related wear and tear, but it does look a little more colorful and maybe a little sharper than prior releases. I don't own any prior releases, so I can't make a direct comparison, but it's not bad. Certainly not the best looking show I've seen from this era in a home video format, but certainly far from the worst too. So I don't think fans will be too terribly disappointed with what they get here. Both discs actually have a ton of bonus features. There's toy commercials, there's promo reels, there's even footage of Toxie in the Macy's Day Parade. Now, a lot of this bonus material is repetitious. You do see a lot of the same footage again if you're going to watch it all back to back. But I'm glad to see that it's certainly not a bare bones release. They even threw in a fun little newly filmed thing with Toxie against a tank stating how they stand with the Ukraine with all the world's conflicts going on. So good to see those Troma guys haven't lost their sense of humor. If you were a fan of Toxic Crusaders back in the day, or you might be a fan of the Toxic Avengers movies and you're just curious about this obscure cartoon that it spawned, you might want to pick up this release. I think I got mine on Amazon for like just under $30, but this Blu-ray release of Toxic Crusaders, despite some minor reservations, does come recommended. How about you? Were you a fan of Toxic Crusaders back in the day? Is this your favorite children's cartoon based on an R-rated property? Comment down below. and then what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content. I'm always posting new videos, and make sure you listen to like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.